I graduated from Babson 2 years ago. I'm 23 now, co-founder and CEO of a company called Paragon Lake. We're backed by Highland Capital Partners, once again Bob Davis. He's a great guy. We're, I think, both fortunate to have him on our boards, and then Dan Support over at Canaan Partners down in Connecticut. We're a 13-person company right now. We're in the jewelry space. So what we've done is go out to designers from around the world and say to designers, you've got a great design, you want publicity, come to us, name your royalty, and we're going to feature your design on the front end. And we're going to feature it in this virtual display case, in this infinite inventory, and every design is customizable. Then on the back end, we've got a network of manufacturers that drop ship products. So what we've done is actually go out and present this virtual display case to independent jewelers across the country, and they're able to feature it in their store. And the short of it is, we all know, we're in the middle of a recession, maybe even worse. And these jewelers in particular, they've got annualized inventory turn of maybe 2x. So a piece could sit there for 2 years before it actually gets sold. And then on one side, Blue Nile is going to do $350 million in business this year. They've commoditized diamonds, so the jeweler can't make a margin there anymore. And on the other side, Walmart and Costco are America's biggest jewelers. So the independent jeweler, and there's about 22,000 of them, is sort of left looking for a way to differentiate. And now, to make it even worse, last month, their suppliers won't give them inventory anymore. They've lost their lines of credit. So now this is an infinite inventory, so we call it, or free inventory that they can present to their customers. So as far as myself, I have a similar story to Evan in that we started with a business plan competition, which is kind of funny, and we also gamed the system, and we worked with teachers, and we said we're absolutely positively going to win this competition no matter what happens. And actually, we took it one step further, and the graduate prize, because we were undergrads, the graduate prize was 5 times as much. So we said, not only are we going to win ours, but we're going to hire a team of graduate students to present our business plan, and we're going to get them to win, and then we're going to take a really big cut of that one as well. And that all helps fund the company, and it worked. And then after we graduated, we linked up with Bob Davis. We were actually going to move out to the West Coast, and there's a lot. I think Scott Kersner at the Globe is doing a lot of work right now about how do we keep young people in Boston. I think it's absolutely imperative. I've lost so many of my good, smart friends to the West Coast. There's no excuse for it, because anybody who says you can't start a consumer internet company in Boston is wrong. I would argue that there's ample opportunity, there's a ton of talent, and there's a ton of people looking for consumer internet companies. So it's actually an advantage, I would say. And there are VCs here who will back you. We stayed at Highland for the summer. They had an interesting summer entrepreneurship program. We got a little bit of seed capital, raised 500 grand, kept making progress, hired a killer CTO, team kept growing, product got better, plan got better, brought in a big guy from the jewelry industry, raised another about $6 million, and that's sort of where we stand today. And we're sort of off and running. Prior to this company, I had a few funny things that I just did to pay the bills. I grew up in a mill town in Maine, so my dad was a mailman, my mom was a secretary, so a blue-collar feel to it. And I'll never forget the day when I finally raised the capital. I called my mom, I said, Mom, we raised $5.8 million today. This is awesome. She goes, oh, well, that's so great, sweetie. This should definitely help you get a good job when you're all done with this project. I said, Mom, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm telling you, like, running this company, log onto the site, you can see these people, like, they're all there, it's real. She's like, yeah. So, like, then I think she finally took me seriously. So a few weeks later, I went home, and I'm out, grabbing a beer with a few of my friends at the downtown bar, and people start coming up to me, and they're like, and I have no idea how these conclusions get drawn, but somebody comes up to me and says, yo, I heard you got a helicopter. I heard I got a helicopter. Yeah, I heard you got a helicopter and your friends with Leonardo DiCaprio now. And I'm like, I don't know if that's like a blood diamond connection or how that works. But it turns out my mom had somehow managed to tell almost the entire town that I live in that the $5.8 million was wired to my bank account. So that's my story. I had no idea that I'd end up in this position. Like Evan said, I've had a lot of people tell me, including my mom, if Matt can do it, anyone can do it. Anybody who wants to do it, you really can. So that's my story.